How's it going, everybody? This is Dusty with Chiefland RC Raceway. Just want to go over some tips today for some of our newer racers here at Chiefland RC Raceway. If you guys are more experienced racers or from other tracks, a lot of you guys probably already know the things that we're going to go over today. Feel free to watch the video, but at the same time, like I said, this is for our newer racers. We're hoping to kind of help them out and get started with some maintenance on their cars. Um, as you can see right here in front of me, I have a rear end, an unassembled shock. The shock that comes with it is the plastic shock here. You also have the option of the aluminum or blue anodized. This part number is 5006 for this one. The blue anodized is 5007, and that kit is $24.99. Now, with that kit comes this small 1 millimeter drill bit. The drill bit is used to poke a hole in the top of the cap. Now, if you do not want to use the aluminum shock body, then just go to your local hardware store and get you one of these 1 millimeter drill bits. And what you're going to want to do is you want to take it and you want to poke a hole in the top of the cap right here, but you want to do it kind of at an angle to aim towards the middle. So that way you're going away from the outer edge, because you don't want to get into this outer edge because you want it still to seal really good. When you go into the shock, you want to make sure you clear out all the extra plastic when you cut it right here so that you see that good hole right there. Once you do that, you can set that down for a second. Up here we have, this is an oil mixture that we use here. We also have 1UP that we sell, and there's also this grease that 1UP sells. This is a preference thing. Depending on who you are and what your preference is will depend on what you put on your shock shaft here. This shock shaft has a clear O-ring on it. They also have the black O-rings that you can put on. There are different preferences with different racers on the black and the clear. Me personally, I do not know what the difference is. I know that I've seen some videos where I hear that some people say the black ones or the clear ones are smaller than the other, yada yada. So anyway, so I use this mixture oil here that we sell here at Chiefland RC, and I put just a little dab, and I mean just ever so little dab of oil on there, and then I will take, and I normally do this part first, and we're going to do it on the aluminum shock body here. Take and just put a little dab of oil in the shock body, and then slide this shock shaft down in it. And this is a thing that you want to do on a regular basis. You don't have to do it after every race, but you do want to do it often. After you put it in, there may be a little oil that comes through the bottom there, which is fine. Um, in both the plastic shock body and this, sometimes there's little spurs inside of them. So you'll want to get a little piece of sandpaper or something real small that you can kind of put down into the hole here and just get rid of the spurs. And you want this to be able to move up and down nice and easy. After that, you can do one of two things. You can put the shock cap on, or a lot of people, there is a spot on the top here to put a small screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver. I am going to use today a set of pliers. Most people do not recommend this because if you push or if you tighten it too tight, it could put marks on the shock shaft. So a lot of people use that flathead screwdriver. Today I'm going to go probably against what everybody normally does. I'm just going to hold it tight, and then that'll screw your ball coupler onto the bottom here. And so then once you get that, you can take and put your shock cap on. You want to make sure it's nice and tight. With this, you already have the adjustable, so you can go up or down with that. I'm going to leave it down a little bit because the shock that I'm actually, or the spring that I'm actually using is a shorter spring. So put your spring on, tighten that up, and then you put your key on the bottom here. Now, I always tell everybody to put the opening whichever direction is going to be away from where you might get hit. So your ball coupler always attaches this way, either on the front or the back of the late model modifieds, sprint cars, etc. So I always put this opening to where if you get hit, the key can't just be pushed out. So if you put it like this and you get hit in the rear, then this key is likely to just pop right out. So you'll want to spin that to where it's the right direction. The other thing I do is we take this 2 millimeter drill bit right here, and this comes with the drill bit, or I'm sorry, this comes with the solid kingpins, which is part number 3012 on 1RC. And you just kind of drill out a little hole, makes a little bit more room in there. Now, make sure this is legal at your local track before you do it. I don't want to promote anybody getting in trouble for doing something that we've posted on here and it not being legal at their track. But it's something we do, and by making that hole just a little bit bigger, when you go to put your screw in, it gives you just a little bit more room of play, and you don't want to tighten the screw all the way to where it's really tight on the front or in between the mounts for the body or the frame. And the reason for that is it kind of eliminates that wheel hop that you get sometimes. And again, if you don't want to buy the solid kingpin kit because it's $8.99, you can go to your local hardware store and get you a 2 millimeter drill bit, and that'll take care of the little hole on the top. So with that, that's our shock rebuild. And again, you want to do this every couple of races. Some people do them after every race. Some people do them every other race. Some people do them every month. I mean, it's really up to you. But your shocks are a big part of keeping your car nice and smooth on the track. So this is something that you want to do often. Next thing we're going to go over is the radius rods. These radius rods that are on the rear end here, you can see how easily they swing. That's the way you want them. Now, sometimes they're a little tighter. So like this one swings pretty good. That's pretty acceptable. But if they are a little tight and they don't just drop down easily, you want to take your pliers here and just put a little bit of pressure just to tighten it and make that plastic form slightly different. And then once you do that, it's hard to do it at this angle with the camera, but you want that thing to move real easy. And you can over tighten it, you can pinch it too much, and it will ruin the radius rod. So there is a fine line. But if you just slightly move it and slightly tighten on it, you'll be able to get these to where they're nice and loose. And you want to do that on every radius rod on your car, front, back, wherever there's a radius rod, you want to make sure to get those nice and loose so that the car is as free as possible. We also, again, some people use grease, some people use oil. I will pop these bearings out, and every once in a while I'll just drop a little bit of oil down into my rear end, and then I'll wipe it off good because it is plastic. There are the seams here, so you will get some seepage through here, so you want to clean it off with a towel. But that's the rear end and the radius rods. The next thing we're going to go over is just a cleaning tool that you want to have in your car is a toothbrush, just to get all the extra dirt and grease off in between races. Keep that in your toolbox. It's always good to have. Bearings. So you want to keep your bearings nice and clean. These are some older bearings that I have, so like this one's super black and needs to be cleaned up. I keep old medicine bottles with me. So what you want to do, you want to take a medicine bottle, you want to take some of your cleaner, whether it's the 1-Up or this stuff that we sell here. That's a combination mixture of a couple of different items. And you'll take that, drop your bearings in, put your lid on, shake it up a little bit, even let them sit for a little while if you want to. And the stuff inside will turn a dark color most of the time when you're trying to clean them. You'll want to do this a couple of times. You want to pull them out, get them all out of the bottle here, and then dry them off, and then repeat that until the liquid inside is no longer dark. That's how you know the bearings are good and clean and flushed out, is the bearings, the oil inside of the cap is then cleared up. That's pretty much so it. If you have any questions, make sure to Facebook message us. If you're watching and you like this video, also make sure you go onto YouTube and subscribe to our channel for our race videos, and go to TikTok so you can see our highlight videos. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope everybody has a good 2024, and we will see you later.